What's up my dear boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here and welcome to a different kind of video. It's neither a discussion video nor a theory, but with this video I wanted to present you some of the Japanese Pokemon voice actors who actually had some really cool or even downright badass non-Pokemon roles. Like I said, I will only show you the voice actors who, in my opinion, had badass roles during their career. Only because I didn't add other voice actors in this video doesn't mean that their past roles are worthless. I respect each and every voice actor of our beloved Pokemon anime. So with that being said, let me present you my personal non-Pokemon roles done by our familiar voices. The first one I want to present you is Ishikawa Kaito, who not only voices Kiawe in the recent Sun and Moon anime, aka my favorite Sun and Moon character, but also Genos, one of the main characters of the widely popular anime One Punch Man.
Sensei,
The voice acting between the two of them seemed to be very similar because both characters share certain character traits. Both are very serious, treat their environment with a certain kind of respect, and both have a sense of justice. And all these things also can be recognized in both voices. But because Sun and Moon is way more concentrated on comedy, I thought that someone with a role like Genos wouldn't be able to pull off this kind of new style. But he actually was able to do so, which really surprised me. For example, you can see the change of tone when it comes to his little sister, or even in the latest episode of Sun and Moon, where Kiawe had plenty of comedy scenes. Every time Kiawe has this comedic tone, I can't help but imagine Genos in this situation. So Ishikawa Kaito did a surprisingly good job in adapting to this comedy setting. Respect. Since we are on the topic of One Punch Man, how about we're checking out another familiar voice within the One Punch Man universe? Tornado Tatsumaki, one of the top heroes of the OPM universe, voiced by lovely Yuki Aoi, who voices our beloved Iris. To be honest, it wasn't really that hard to find out that Tatsumaki was actually Iris, because it was way easier to recognize it thanks to their nearly identical personalities. Both Iris and Tatsumaki are stubborn, cocky, self-confident, and they really like to look down on the main protagonist. And of course, both are badass. So it's not surprising at all that both are voiced by the same person. Another really noteworthy role of Yuki Aoi is also Kaname Madoka, the main protagonist of Madoka Magica, another really successful and beloved franchise. But unfortunately, I haven't watched Madoka Magica and therefore I can't say much. But since it's such a popular and beloved anime, I couldn't just ignore it. But in a nutshell, you can say that the not so popular Iris is actually way more popular than you might have thought. God damn it, so many mainstream anime. And I promise that we won't be able to leave this territory, because now we will talk about one of the mainstream anime which everybody knows. Attack on Titan! And thanks to my cracks, most of you guys already know that both Clement and Eren are voiced by one and the same person, called Yuki Kaji. I really like both performances, although I gotta admit that I didn't immediately recognize both voices at first, because during peaceful and calm moments, Yuki Kaji is able to change his voice so that both characters sound some way different. This of course is a result of their different environment, because Clement lives in a world of Pokemon where everything is kid friendly and every Pokemon loves you, and on the other hand we have Eren, who lives in a world full of titans, full of despair, where he has to fight for his life every single day. So of course the tone of their voices has to be different because of the circumstances. But if both characters are screaming, you can totally see that they are both the same. Fun fact, Yuki Kaji is also the voice of Issei from High School DxD, but I didn't add him into this video because of reasons. But to be honest, it was easier to recognize Clement's voice in Issei more than in Eren, because both are pretty cheesy.
見てもいいわそんな日本語があったのかではありがたく
But I guess our beloved inventor can be everything, from a hero motivated by revenge until a hero motivated by boobs. Damn, we had so many heroes, so how about changing the pace by including a villain into the fray? So why not starting with James, one of the main villains of the Pokemon anime, voiced by Shinichiro Miki. He just recently voiced one of the most, I guess, melodramatic villains of all time in the Dragon Ball franchise, Zamasu.
強いポケモンハンターでな。今日だけは武蔵の力を借りずにニャースたちを助けたいんだ。私は夢を叶えたのだな。ならばなおさらこのようなところで散るわけにはいかない。
Out of all the voices we have talked so far, this was actually the easiest one to recognize, because he nearly always talks in this smooth way while being confident and really melodramatic while being villainous and downright cocky, to the point where he talks down to the main protagonist. And James' voice actor's performance is the exact same way, smooth in calm situations and overly melodramatic while being evil. We always hear his over-exaggerated emotional tone every time the Team Rocket intro starts, so that's nothing new to us, but still, I thought it was worth the mentioning. I know this isn't really a list video, but out of all the voice actors, this right here is my absolute fave. His name? Mamoru Miyano, and his role? Not only that he gave life to one of my fave characters of all time, Silent, but he also voices Death the Kid from Soul Eater and Rin Matsuoka from Free.
しっかりやれと言っている。何のための社会奉仕だ。
うるせえ出てけ
ねんだよ。それにお前が決勝に残れるか。
And for those roles alone, I would have added him immediately. But the one role which he really did perfectly is Light Yagami from Death Note, one of my personal favorite anime of all time.
これはスーパーマルチトレインという最新技術が詰め込まれた試験車両。ああ、これはですね、キラだから。
One reason why this is my fave is that insane difference between the characters and the performance of Mamoru Miyano. On the one hand, we have a light-hearted guy who likes to bring people and Pokemon together so that they have a stronger bond, and on the other hand, we have an insane maniac with a god complex who thinks he's justice himself. Of course, you would never expect Silent and Light to be one and the same person to begin with, because Miyano's performance made it also very difficult to recognize. Sure, there are scenes of silence where you might be able to recognize Silent, but because of the plot and the character, combined with a certain sense of insanity of Light's voice, you would never think about our Pokemon connoisseur, but they are one and the same person, which just blew my mind. And I'm just so impressed that Japanese voice actors related to something kid-friendly like Pokemon are not only able to adapt to anime with different story, but also are able to give personality to characters who vastly differ from their Pokemon roles. I heard stories from American voice actors who refuse to work on a role because they just don't like the show or they just don't like the character. But for Japanese voice actors to be able to adapt to every kind of situation, respect. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this different kind of video. Of course, there are other roles of Pokemon voice actors worth mentioning, but these were just my faves. What are your fave non-Pokemon roles? Tell me in the comment section down below. And just like always, see you guys in the comment section down below. Bye guys!